What's up, Nitro Nation? Meanwhile, back at the cave. Was that like a superhero, like Batman or somebody? Meanwhile, back at the laboratory. I don't know, it was one of the cartoons or maybe one of the shows. Anyway, you know the Muggy Maniac, I'm just random. I'll be just talking about something and just go left or go right, something else. That's what I was told anyway. I think it was one of my ex-girlfriends. She said, "You're very random, you know that?" And at first I didn't know what that meant. Random? What do you mean I'm random? And then I'm like, oh, okay. She goes, yeah, you'd be talking about something and then you just go into a completely different subject or whatever. That's the Muggy Maniac. Anyway, welcome all newbies, middies, oldie but goodies. Okay. Welcome Muggy Maniacs, Buggy Maniacs, Truggy Maniacs, you know, even the monster truck guys, you know, that are out there, you guys that have Savages and, you know, your low C LSTs and all that, you know, just, again, man, there's got to be, trust me, Muggy's going to figure out some way that you could run a Savage and you could run a bump box on that bitch, because that would just eliminate all the headaches, the pull starting and all the rotostart shit. I've been there, done that, and I ain't never going back. Okay, I've even wrenched on guys' shit recently that had pull starts, and I'm like, man, it reminded me of why the hell I don't even use pull start. Why I never want to do pull starts. That kind of trips me out on 5th scale, because when you go from nitro eventually, or some people just go right into the 5th scale, you're pull starting again. That gets old quick. But 5th scale is a whole different enchilada. So anyway, quick shout outs to all the newbies. You know, guys doing the thing. You know, and I want to cover some things. Now, I always go over my comments that I get on my videos. Okay, we're going to talk about my last video, the run video. Okay, so I kind of want to, you know, and like I said before, my videos of running are all going to be just real. I could just edit the thing, you know, I mean, I don't even know how to edit, but I can make the video to where, you know, I can get it all dialed in, get it all tuned up, and then show you my shit running. I'd rather just keep it 100% real, okay? I think, you know, that way if I have issues and things that happen while I'm getting to where, you know, trying to get a tune on my shit, you guys will see how the Muggy deals with it. Okay, obviously that last video, for most of that video, I was fucking around, excuse my language, with trying to get it dialed in. Now, one of my first issues, okay, was that I changed, there's a couple things I changed, okay, as far as on the Novarossi 28.8. This is not the stock one, this is modded by RB Mods. By the way, shout out to Rick. I talk to Rick like periodically here, and you know, I learn a lot from Rick. I like to, you know, and there's another guy that mentioned, you know, about people, you know, you try to network, and that's what I try to do. I try to network with people that are solid, heavy hitters, big players in Nitro. Now, some of these guys are into 5th scale now and deep into 5th scale because drag season's coming up and all that stuff. Especially Mr. Za, Elite RC, you know him. And, you know, those are the two guys. Me and Elite talk personally. We exchange numbers and we talk all the time. And, you know, he's always giving me tips. And he was hitting me up because he's the one that I found out about those JX servos. And he was just saying, stay away from the lower end ones. And, you know, you got to get, you know, and what I'm learning about servos, you just, no matter what, even if you're not racing, you got to spend a little bit of, you got to spend more money than I would like to on servos. It's hard for me to justify spending $100 on a servo when I'm not even racing. Okay. Oh, by the way, we're gonna unveil the new sick ass, updated, fresh look on the Mugen MBX7TR. The race truggy, okay? She got a makeover, nothing internally because it's already, you know, good to go, except for a couple things. But As far as cosmetic surgery, oh yeah, she got a huge cosmetic surgery. Now, this body was kind of a tune-up because, as I mentioned before, they sent me this body, and I'll show you where the damage is because you can really see it now, and I knew you were going to be able to see it better when you got the paint, when I put the paint on, because when I got the body and it's clear, it was hard to see. But they're sending me a brand new one. It should be here any day. So I'm getting a brand new body. So I'm kind of getting a tune-up because the next body is going to be even sicker. Now, when you see this body, you guys are going to probably be like, oh, shit. You guys are going to be like, snaps. That shit's freaking money. That's a sick-ass paint job. But there's a lot of flaws in it because, you know, the Muggy Maniac. I'm very, very, very OCD about everything I do, especially everything in nitro. And I'll even point out, you know, the flaws that are on the paint job, even though it, from a distance, and I mean, even really looking at it, it turned out decent. I'm not going to say it looked horrible. I've seen worse. I mean, check out Raja 111. He's the only guy that I know that it could, because it's hard to jack up these bodies because you're painting from the inside. And then when you peel the outside plastic off, it's, you know, you can do a shitty paint job and it still comes out nice and clear. Well, I don't know how he did his, but he jacked that associated Chuggy body up. But it actually turned out pretty decent once he put stickers on it and everything. So, you know, it didn't turn out that bad. You know, I gave him a hard time about it. But anyway, you know, a lot of these guys that are deep into fit scale, you know, I still talk to them. I still watch their videos. They're just not a lot of nitro. The only ones that are really in nitro right now, you know, guys that have been around, is Raja 111, and that's it. There isn't anybody. John mentions it here and there, and he kind of dips back and forth in it, but he's just full on fit scale. I mean, let's face it. Let's just keep that real too. So anyway, my videos. You know, I show you, I try to, you know, you guys go through what I go through when I'm running my shit, when I'm out doing my bashing or whatever. So one of the issues that I had was I wanted to experiment. Now, John said Mr. Za experimented with Venturis on modded motors. He said he ran 10 millimeter and it was way too much. Good for dragging if you're just making a drag racing motor or whatever. But when it comes to bashing and, you know, to the tune and the idle, he said was really, really inconsistent. And I tried a 10 millimeter, and it's true. So I figured, let me just try a little bit less. Because the bigger Venturi you put on it, the more power you're going to get out of the motor. Because the more air you're going to be able to shove into it. And then you can, you know, just run it rich and put more fuel in it. Well, I tried a 9.5, which is what I was running yesterday. And I just, you guys could see I had trouble getting it dialed in. Now I finally got, I mean, I got, whenever your shit isn't running right, okay, troubleshooting, and that's what we're going to get into coming up, because, you know, we're still dealing with, you know, the basic fundamentals that I've mentioned to you guys. Learning of nitro, learning how to tune, getting a good tune, and how to troubleshoot, and all the stuff that comes with tuning, good and bad, and how to maintain, which is cleaning, mostly cleaning and upkeep and things you want to look out for. Check your bearings. Every once in a while I pull my motors apart just to see how the internals are doing, making sure there's normal wear and tear, making sure my filters are doing a good job. By the way, if you don't have an outer wear or a motor saver, you're missing out. If you're gonna run decent motors, do yourself a favor. The most important thing about your motor is protecting it, okay? Air filters, sure, you can run the regular. If you're running low C, I don't think, unless you run an aftermarket body, you can get the motor saver, which is the whole thing underneath the body. It won't fit, okay? This whole thing is a motor saver. The part that covers it is the outer wear. Now, most people that have low Cs only can run the outer wear. So you're left with just the filter inside. Well, it's okay, but this motor saver is way, 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 way better, man. It's, you know, you're getting like 5 layers of protection total with the outerwear and the motor saver. Neil at TNS, when he was modding motors, dynoed this complete thing on motors, and it increased the power. Okay? So you're not only increasing the power, but you're getting extra protection. There is nothing, I repeat, nothing going to pass through this shit and get in your motor. Because even if you get small little particles in your motor, because your filter is, somewhat okay, but if you don't have the best protection, you're going to jack up your motor. It's going to wear your crank rod out, and eventually you're going to just destroy your motor. Okay, you don't want nothing getting in your motor except for air and fuel, period. Not even a micro hair. There is no room for air in nitro motors, okay? Too many RPMs pumping through these things. You don't have room for nothing. No, nothing. So anyway, run these if you can. Now, if you have Mugans and Technos and so forth, I know you can run the motor saver and the outerwear. The motor savers, 25 bucks. It's the same price as the outerwear. Now, I can justify the filter being 25 bucks. I don't know why they want 25, the same price just for the outerwear. That's crazy. So you're spending, you're around $40-something for the whole thing. But I have a bunch. I run these on all my motors. The only one I can't run it on is the, when I run the Reds or whatever motor, when I run in the Mugen Buggy. The Mugen Buggy, because of the way the bodies are, I can't run this big ass filter under there. I wish I could. I would be running it too. So anyway, so I changed the Venturi a 9.5, and it did. I could tell the increase in the power, but it struggled for me to get a tune. And you guys seen that. Now, if you guys seen, sorry about I shouldn't have uploaded that second little small video afterwards of this thing idling, but that's kind of after I got done filming that the first video and everything. I was like, you know what? I'm not leaving and going home until I get the tune that I came to get. That's just me. You can settle for an okay tune and just say, but I heard pros say, listen, don't settle for a mediocre tune. Go, keep in mind, listen, I want to get this thing the best tune that I can. And that's what I did. I didn't give up. And towards the end, it took me a minute, but I finally got it dialed. I got the idle to set down perfect. Now you can see on that little second video that I uploaded, my idle's money. So this thing is dialed in. But I'm still going to change this 9.5 Venturi back to a 9. It's not real inconsistent. It's not real consistent. It's inconsistent, I should say. It increased the power, but not a whole lot to where it's worth, struggling to get an idle and a good tune on it. So I put the 9 Venturi back in there, which is the biggest one Novarasi's make. So I'm just going to run the 9. I also, the Pico pipe was okay. It did well, but not even close to the 9886. Now I also want to mention for guys, if you're running stock motors, don't waste your time or money putting a 9886 with the 41032. Even Mr. Za will tell you, when you're running stock motors, they perform better with the 41031. I think I mentioned it before. This 41032 is for motors that have more power, okay? Not for stock motors, okay? So you can do what you want. Experiment, you'll find out. But running the conical header, which is a 41031, or the 41031, will work way better on stock. Not mod, but stock. So anyway, somebody else mentioned, what batteries do I use? Now let's just cover something quick on as far as batteries. Now I know one of the Nitro brothers, I don't call him a newbie, but if you've got less than a year in Nitro, and I'm not talking Traxxas and all that. I'm talking serious Nitro. Decent platform, decent motors, Well, let me rephrase that. Anything, as long as you haven't been running, if you've been running Traxxas shit, I don't even consider you a real Nitro guy. I don't care how you take that. Take it how you want. because that shit isn't even real anything. Anyway, anything that has an E-word motor and an easy start, which is the Traxxas, and I don't care if you put other motors in the Traxxas. Traxxas is just, it doesn't even count. It doesn't even come on the Muggy's radar as far as nitro. Okay, it's not even nitro. Matter of fact, it's a poor example of what nitro really is and supposed to be. If you have at least a year, or if you have less than a year, you're a newbie. Okay? I'm still kind of new. You know, I'm not a newbie, but, you know, and I've been doing nitro for going on 4 years now. Anyway, if you're running this is newbie shit. Get rid of these. I don't care if you got custom NiCads and badass AA batteries. If you're running this, man, you're asking for headaches. I ran these things for a long time. Trust me. These suck balls. You will have issues. These plugs go out, as well as switches. I don't run either one. Now, guys that race, I know Raja runs those little switches, and even pro racers do, the LiPo ones. But I don't run a LiPo battery anyway. That's another thing. I don't run LiPo batteries because I don't want to take a chance of my shit catching on fire. You know, Mr. Za is a full-on, he does not run any LiPos. And I don't either. I've seen too many people and known too many people have their shit catch on fire. People's almost had their houses burned down. Excuse my language. Fuck that. Not worth it. And some guys will argue and say, well, I've been using LiPos for a long time. Okay, well, that's cool. But, hey, don't be the reason. Don't be the guy that says, hey, that never happens to me. Well, just because it never happens to you doesn't mean you shouldn't take precautions. But, hey, do what you want. If you've been running LiPos for years and you have no problems, hey, kudos to you, and hopefully you never have. But the one day you do, you will wish you never even ran LiPos in the first place. Me? I'm not going to take that chance at all. I don't care. You know, and I've thought of why do I want to try stuff? You know what I'm saying? That's like seeing somebody smash their finger in the car door or whatever, and you saying, you know what, I know that looks... Let me try that. Does it really hurt that bad? You're an idiot. Anyway, so if you're running these things, I've had these things go out, and these. If you don't think that this shit or this will go out, some people mostly have these. I've had these things go out. These things are not good to run, man. I do not run them. And I ran this thing in my Mugen. I had one of these go out and a switch, and this Mugen ran away doing about 50 plus, hit a brick wall head on. That's when I knew that Mugens were a tough SOB. And all it did is that's why I'm going to replace the chassis anyway, even though I fixed it. This chassis has been beat up. But it bent the corner of the chassis up, and this is a 3mm 7075 aluminum. Pretty sturdy. It bent the corner up, okay. I was surprised it didn't break the plastic, because I think on the rear, the bottom hinge pin, it's plastic, and on the front, it's aluminum. I don't know why. Or maybe it's aluminum. No, yeah, I don't know why they have that. See, they have one, and Mugens, these older ones, I wonder if I'm going to think about, matter of fact, I'm going to think if I can replace that. Because I'd rather have all aluminum. See, there's an aluminum one. I don't know if you guys can see that down there. Those are the bottom braces that hold the hinge pins. There's an aluminum one on the front of it and a plastic one on the back. I'm going to see if they make an aluminum one. I'd rather have both. See, the Mugen and the Techno has aluminum rear. These are called your A, B, C, and D blocks. That's the correct pronunciation. The braces that hold your hinge pins, the bottom brackets that hold your hinge pins on any whip, they're called blocks. This is the A block, B block, C block, D block is obviously the rear. Now, when this thing ran away and it hit the wall, man, the body popped off, my filter, I thought I was maybe like 50 feet away, and there is no sicker, if you've never had a runaway, then you don't probably know, and I don't wish it on anybody. It's the most nauseating, sickest feeling you could have, because you just see your shit run away and there's nothing you can do. And these vehicles are hauling ass. All the RPMs, I've seen and heard guys blow motors, because if your motor sticks, because when your receiver shit goes out, unfortunately, nitros don't have a kill switch. Not that I know of. If they do, I'd like to get one. I need to get one, because that way you can push a button on your remote, and kill your motor. Like Fitzgeralds have them. Mandatory Fitzgerald guys do not run their shit without the kill switch, because those things are 30 pounds heavier and bigger, and you can hurt somebody really bad. So anyway, you can't on a nitro. When the receiver even though you have failsafe only is for the receiver. When the receiver loses signal, it just stops. When the battery goes out and there's no power to the receiver, when your battery goes out, you're on a nitro, the throttle servo locks wide open. Don't ask me why. That's why you want to keep rubber bands, springs, or whatever in them, even though that doesn't help. The servo locks wide open, that's it. You're done. Okay? Unless you're not at full throttle, if you're just idling and it goes out, it won't lock open. Okay? But when you're giving it gas and it goes out, it'll lock up on open, it'll lock wide open, and your shit's gone. So anyway, this thing hit a brick wall, it bent the aluminum on in front, and it bent the back. I think I bent a hinge pin. I did bend one of my shock shafts. But other than that, it didn't do any major damage. When that happened, I was thinking my shit's toast. Shit was just going to fly everywhere. So, and it's happened to, not the Techno, but I've had it happen to the Mugen Truggy also too. So anyway, don't run these things. Do yourself a favor. Save yourself headaches and disaster. Switches, I don't even fucking use switches. I plug my shit, and sometimes it's an inconvenience. Well, not really. I've got used to it. I just take my cap off and plug my shit. Take this little cap off. It's pretty easy to get to. I take my cap off, okay, and plug my plug from my battery directly into my receiver. Pop this baby back on. Tighten it down. Some people are like, oh, well, that's a pain in the ass. Well, how about you just, have your switch go out and run your shit into a wall and break all your shit? It's not a pain in the ass. That's a pain in the ass. So I don't care. I don't run switches anymore. I've had too many problems with them. I don't run switches, and I don't run these fucking things. Now, the best thing you can get, they're going to be less than 30 bucks. Okay, I use these two type of batteries. Now, for the Techno, it's a different battery, and there's not a lot of people have Technos that I know of anyway, unfortunately. People are missing out, man. If you guys don't have, if you guys ever get the money or ever see one on eBay at a good price, snatch that shit up. I have no regrets. That's one of the best platforms on the market. Bashing, racing, trust me, okay? The technology on the Technos is this way leaps and bounds beyond any platform. The maintenance on it's easy, and the main thing is this thing is one of the toughest vehicles that I've ever had as far as the way that it's built and designed. I don't think I'll ever replace any plastics. And I've mentioned that plenty of times. It handles like a dream, like a buggy. This thing makes me a better driver. And I'm a shitty driver. So anyway, as far as the Techno, it has more. This is the hump one. So this is the ProTech 1800 milliamps. Now, the ones for the Mugen, and you can run, I think on the Mugens, Associated, most vehicles, and the Losis, I think, are these type, I believe. I run this one as a Reedy. It's a Reedy Life Pro Flat, 1600 milliamp, 6.6, 2S. These are great. 25 bucks, 26 bucks. These ones I also run. These are great. 1600 milliamp, 2 cell, 6.6 Protect. This is plenty. Now, as far as life batteries, I think the biggest you're going to get is maybe 1800s. I think that's what this one is. Yeah, this is an 1800. This is what I run in my Techno. But 1600 is good. It's plenty. You don't need any more than that. Even if you're running higher end servos, it'll still give you your max. You know, but if you want to run lipos, run lipos. Do what you want. If you run them on a switch, run switches. If you want to run these, run these. Disregard anything that I just said, and you learn the hard way. Or maybe you won't have problems. I don't know. So anyway, that's enough about that. Now the next thing I wanted to, you guys are like, man, are you going to unveil the sick whip over here? Yeah, we are. We're going to save the best for last. So anyway, another issue that one of my brothers is having is he wants to eliminate he wants to put this cover. This is the piece, Mr. Alex, he's missing. This is what you want. I have a bunch of these. Okay, now you have this, but you have the hole in it. Don't go all through that hassle, bro, making the aluminum and all that shit. I mean, I know you like to do that. And, you know, by the way, this guy is very ingenious. This guy makes a lot of, he's got, oh, by the way, that thing with the wheel turning, it's called a grinder in English. I don't know what they call them in Germany. It's a grinder wheel. That you have is a grinder. And you have a drill press and a grinder. I mean, this guy's got his own freaking... This guy can make his own shit if he wants, man. That's what I'm talking about, man. You know, need more people like him. I'm like that way too. I just don't. When it comes to making, like, I'm not gonna make a brace. I mean, you can do what you want. I don't like to compromise the engineering of any of my vehicles, which means I don't drill any holes. I don't like to drill any holes. I don't like to grind out. Some people grind out underneath where the flywheel comes through. I've seen that. You're altering your chassis. The chassis was made, and the stiffness and everything and the way that it works with the platform. When you start drilling and grinding and changing it, you're compromising the rigidity of it. You're compromising the strength of it and all of that, okay? So I don't fuck with any of that. And I don't make, you know, you can make certain things, but when it comes to that stuff, that's what the engineers do. That's what they designed it for. Unless you're an engineer and you know what you're doing, then I wouldn't be messing with it. But anyway, all he wants to do, Mr. Alex, I know all you want to do is cover that hole. Well, here. What's your address? It would probably cost me, what, to mail a letter to you? How much would it cost? A few stamps? There's the piece that you're looking for. That's how big. A little piece like that. Can you guys see that? So whatever you're making, all you need to do is make that piece. Or if you want to make it. You don't even really need to make it. I would take, like... This stuff is like a two-sided tape, really thick. I would just put that in there. You can cover it up with some kind of thick tape. Or I'd even take, you know, aluminum, you're just adding weight. I mean, it's not a big weight, but I mean, you go through all that hassle. You know, also, you can take the switch, put the switch in there, and make it a dummy switch so it just covers the hole and these holes. Put the switch in there, and I've done that before, and then it's just you know, that way you keep all the dirt and stuff out of there. Matter of fact, I did that on my my muggy over here. Here, I'll show you, because I eliminated the switch on. I tell you, man, I eliminated switches on all my shit. I even had a good switch that I never had a problem with on the muggy, and I didn't care. I eliminated that too. Oh, I covered it. But I mean, I used to have a little thing going through there. I'm seriously thinking about running the muggy next. I know, you know, I want to run the Novarossi again. I want to get a full session now. You know, that video where you seen that, where I got the tune down, finally. Now I would like to do another video of at least 30 minutes of this thing running. You know, it's I put the 9886 on here with the 41032, and I got a 9mm Venturi. I want to go run it. I cleaned her up. She was pretty dirty. She got a good exterior clean. I mean, I cleaned it pretty good. Didn't break it all the way down. It doesn't need to be broke all the way down. Now, 2 more bath sessions, getting it filthy, then I'll tear it all the way down again. But for now, it's fine. So anyway, yeah, you can hook up some kind of dummy switch or whatever, you know. But I wouldn't make all that, do all that trouble to make the aluminum. If you like doing that, then go ahead. You know, it's just easier to just, you know, it's all you need is a piece that big. That's it. Plugs that hole. Just like that. Bam. So anyway, let's see what this thing looks like. Don't need to make a long video. So you guys ready? You're ready to see the unveiling of a sick. I mean, it looks pretty cool. I mean, I like the way it turned out. Even though I'm picky, I'm pretty happy about it. All right, you guys ready? All right, drum roll, please. Blah, 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 blah. Here is the unveiling of the new look of the MBX7. Oh, snaps. Look at that. Is that sick? That thing looks pretty fresh. Look at that. Got the black DE racing rims with the Badlands on there. I just think the black Badlands they make the vehicle look just evil. It looks nasty. Now let me show you what I did to it. I'll get a closer look. You know, I did add my stickers in there. Now one thing I did, I have that graphite body wrap stuff, you know, that I have. I mean, I have it on the bottom of this thing too. You guys can see the bottom. The bottom's got the wrap. But anyway, I took some of that pieces of wrap and I filled in the windows, just the back part, because it's a king cab. Now this is the Mugen. Keep in mind, this body is the Mugen MBX 8T, the new Mugen 8T truggy, race truggy. This is the body style that comes with it when you buy one. They fit right on the 7. Okay, so I did the masking. Now the most important thing when you're painting bodies is the masking, man. I can't emphasize that enough. The masking is key to your paint job coming out. Now the reason I did a little bit of the fluorescent in here is because so when I go to run the other rims on here, the yellow ones, they won't. I'm just a huge anally OCD or whatever you want to call it about color scheme and matching. My shit, I mean, when I dress, my shit matches. I see guys that have like different rims, colored rims, black one, or I mean, their shit just looks like a bucket. I mean, hey, if that's cool with you, long as it's running killer, I mean, I guess, but that's not me, man. I like my shit to not only look and to run badass, but I want my shit to look good. My shit, at least I know, my shit runs, my whips run as good or better than they look. Okay, they don't just look all fancy and nice. Okay, now this will be a bash body too, because remember, I got another one coming. The other one will be the shelf display body. But so I got this body and the other one. But I mean, it came out pretty decent. Like I said, there's flaws to it when you start looking at it closely. One of them is you can see how the little bubbles, and when you do this picture paint, you got to really squeeze. But it's hard because you don't want to push too much because you'll rip the pictures. But that's where you got those little bit of bubbles in there. Now, there's where the body is damaged. See that corner? Now you guys can see it. See how the corner's all creased up? Matter of fact, this whole part right here is creased. So whatever happened when they shipped it, somebody stepped on it, ran it over, whatever. This is creased all the way up into here. You can see it now that it's painted. You know, but we got Sandman right here, which is, you know, one of Batman's enemies. Obviously, this has more of the Joker. I'm a huge Joker fan, man, and it's kind of cool because, as if you guys know or don't know, the new Joker movie's coming out, which Joaquin Phoenix plays the Joker. It's about the life of where the Joker came from. So kind of the birth of the Joker, how he became the Joker. So kind of fitting that I did this body, you know, because the Joker movie is going to be coming out. I think it comes out this weekend. But the carbon fiber, I put it in here. The Novarossi, and I did the colors this way too because that way when I put the Novarossi, which is purple head, it's going to match. The blue Pico one and the LRP .32, which will be in here eventually, will match in here too. See, I just like my shit to match, but I think it looks pretty sick. Okay, got the Joker up top there. I did a little bit of the white, put the DC Comics because it is DC Comics. Did the white back here. We got Two-Face over here, another one of Batman's arch enemies. Got another picture of Bane, and then the one on the Bane front came out pretty decent. I also did the graphite wrap on the front because, you know, they give you when you get the bodies those, you know, you can put the headlights and a grill. I was like, yeah, let me try something different. It didn't come out too bad. So I put the graphite body wrap in the front here and in here. Kind of made like a graphite grill. So, which came out okay. Like I said, I mean, if you really look close at it, you can see where some of the colors, it's not perfect, you know, but I mean, it's, like I said, this is a tune-up. This is only my, this is only my third time doing this type of body. First one was the superhero one that you guys see in my Techno. Second one was the God of War. And then this is the third one. Fourth one that I'm getting when I get the other body, the other body they're giving me for free, they're sending me. I'm not sure what I'm gonna, what paint. If I'm just gonna, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I was thinking Star Wars, but I don't know. I'm thinking of a game character. I might think of doing like a Resident Evil, man. That would be a sick, because I love Resident Evil, one of my favorite games. Besides Zelda and God of War, Resident Evil. If I can get the Resident Evil one, man, like a Nemesis or something, that would be sick. I mean, or I can do a Zelda, you know, do the Legend of Zelda, have Link, Skull Kid, some of the Zelda characters. Yeah, I don't know, it's not manly enough, you know. I think the Resident Evil and the God of War and superhero stuff and villains, I think that's more goes with Nitro. I don't know, what do you guys think? That's just what I think. So anyway, there she is. She came out okay. Like I said, the next one is going to be even better. Yeah. So, I was going to do the window trim red, but I've done red before. I think the yellow one looks cool. I should have probably put some more yellow up in here. But see, like I'm saying, when I go to put the yellow DE rims on with the Badlands, it'll match that yellow, fluorescent yellow. That's why I did it that way. So, anyway, there she is. There she goes, people. Got the Batman villains. See that? Batman villains. Also, your heat gun is so important to make the paint job. Every time I do a coat of paint, there's probably like 10 coats of paint on this thing, which will help the body. And I think I might, before I actually run it, I might do the like Raja, maybe in the corners where I know it's going to wear. I still got to cut out the, oh man, I forgot where the Batman villains thing is. That's where the exhaust is going to come out. Son of, I didn't even think of that. Fuck. So I'm going to mess that up. Oh well. No biggie. And I got to cut the hole for the fuel tank puller. See that right there? And that's cool because see where it ran in here? I'm going to cut that all out. Drill a hole in it and then grind it out with a grinder and smooth that out. So, and I think I'm going to make these holes oval, like I said before. Make them oval. That's how the other Mugen body is. If you see the holes, see how they're oval like that? In the front and the rear? That's so when you put different exhausts and maybe the stinger is up farther or back, you can move it back and forth instead of having to butcher your body some more. So that's about it, people. That's the update. That's the new sick looking MBX7T with the MBX actually 8 body on there. But yeah, came out okay. Now it's time to go thrash it. Good. Well, I got another one coming, so I'm not worried about it. Man, I got like my Mugens. Check this out. My Mugens, truck and buggy, have more bodies than anything. This thing's gonna have what, 1, 2, 3 bodies. I'm getting another one for the buggy. That one already has 3 bodies. I've only got one for the Techno and one for the Muggy. The Muggy, the XTM, is the only body they make is that. They make other similar bodies that'll fit on there, but yeah, I like the original body. I'm gonna try to find another body like that, okay, in brand new condition. It's got to be brand new. I won't even mess with it. And I'm gonna get another one for the Techno. Proline has a pretty decent one. Since I have the JC Concepts, I want to get a Proline one for the Techno. But other than that, that's about it. The Muggy Maniac is pretty much caught up on wrenching. Although I do got to glue some more tires, more tire gluing, and I got to do some clutch changing. By the way, real quick on clutches, I know one of my Nitro brother is like, he said his clutch is real beat the hell up. So let me show you. There is 2 different kinds. If you're going to run a 3-shoe, run these here. These are Dynamite, Max Life. These are for 3 shoes. Okay? What a 4-shoe looks like, it's completely different. Okay? Then, because there's some 4-shoes that I've seen that look like a 3-shoe. Okay? But they work differently. These are the ones that I've used 2 different ones. These are aluminum. Okay? And I've got carbon ones and plastic ones. There's plastic, carbon. So you can see the difference. This is a 3-shoe. This is what 3-shoe clutches. So some 4-shoe clutches that look like that, I've never used them 4-shoe. But the Max Life, the ones that I use now currently, there's the Dynamite right there. There's the number. Max Life aluminum clutch shoes. Okay. And here is the other shoes that I use. These are Serpent clutch shoes, carbon. So I use carbon, 2 carbon Serpents and 2 aluminum Max Life, Dynamite Max Life. That's the combo I'm using, and that's what's hooking my shit up like a tow truck. So light springs on the aluminum, medium springs on the carbon. So anyway, one more look at that sick ass whip. Looking fresh, ready to rock and roll, people. Yep, looks badass. So wait till you see the next one. There'll be another one coming. Not anytime soon, but I mean, I'm not even going to paint another body, even though I'll be getting the other body soon. I'm just going to hold on to it, and you know, whenever. Who knows? If somebody has one and they got an MBX and they want one painted, I'll do somebody up, because a couple people asked me, can you do my bodies for me? Yeah, I guess I could, but you know, it's going to cost you. This takes about a week if you do it right. Every time I do a color, 3 to 4 coats. Once I'm done with that color, I let it cure for 24 hours until I get to the next color. That way, it just, the paint being cured like that, it just lessens the chance of runs and all that. So, yeah, carbon fiber looks okay on the front. Now you guys can see that. Carbon fiber front. And then the carbon fiber here. I was thinking of putting carbon fiber someplace else, but there's really no other place I could put it. I mean, that's enough, I guess. You know, I could have done the hood. I was thinking of doing this, but I already painted it. I don't want to cover the paint up. Could have done a carbon fiber hood, which would have been cool looking. I don't even know how long this carbon fiber shit's gonna stick on this paint anyway. So, all right, people, that's about 45 minutes. That's enough. I'm out of here. Peace. There'll be another Brat video coming next time you see the Muggy. Hopefully in the next couple days. Either I'm going to get this one back out here with the changes that I made, changing back to the 9886 and changing the Venturi, see if the tuning and everything is a lot smoother. Or I might get the Muggy out there and get the Muggy doing some brapping, because I have a little changes that I did to the Muggy, little gearing, piping, stuff like that. So, but either way, well, we're going to get something running in the next couple days, because I got to at least run a couple times a week, man. I can't just this once a week shit is for the birds. Alright, people, that's all I got. I think I covered all the questions that people asked me. Batteries, switches. Oh yeah, I wanted to show you guys. Now, this is for one of my brothers. He knows who he is. Okay. If you have an MBX7 Truggy, okay, the rear aluminum brace, that only one that they make is not, they don't make a rear aluminum brace. Trust me, I've looked for the MBX7 Truggy for the rear. Why? Don't ask me why, they just don't. Okay, how do I have one? Because I got it, and this is made for the buggy. Because when I mounted it in here, it mounts right here, down in here, it didn't reach. So I had to drill a hole to mount it in here. Okay, which I wasn't too happy with, because I don't like drilling, and like I said, I don't like drilling or altering the chassis on any vehicles, man, because I just don't think it's a good idea. You're weakening the chassis and so forth. Okay, so anyway, if you want to get them, King Heads has them. It's an MBX7. A-Main even says it's 7T, but I talked to the owner of King Heads. He even told me A-Main messed up because he has never made a rear aluminum chassis brace for the MBX7T. So you can get one. They're about 20, 25 bucks or something like that for the MBX7, but you're going to have to drill a hole in your chassis to mount it onto the chassis. Okay? So, FYI, that's a quick note for you guys, so you guys know. Okay? So, anyway, that's pretty much it. They make a front one, and I've got both, but the rear, they don't. But you can make it work. Just, you have to drill a hole in it, unfortunately. So anyway, that's all I got, people. Remember, if you guys, again, I always remind you guys, for you guys that have shelf queens, shelf bitches, hibernating on your shelf for the winter, make sure you set your piston as bottom dead center. Maybe you want to check it, because you might have moved your shit around and bumped it, and now it's not. Don't let your shit get all locked up inside of the sleeve. Jack up your motor, okay? And throw your after run oil in there. If you're running WD-40 and that stuff's not going to last. If you're storing your shit for a long period of time, you got to run 3-in-1 after run oil, or Marvel Mystery Oil is even better. So anyway, that's all I got, and I will catch you guys later. Peace.